On International Peace Day, I feel compelled to quote Mahatma Gandhi when he says, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." It's such a great quote because it calls us to action, and the RHP team strives to live by this way every day. Now, did you know that Gandhi quote actually went something like this? It was more like, if we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his nature, so does his attitude towards man. We need not wait to see what others have to do first. So really, it's an invitation to turn inward and to look towards that inner peace. This reminds me of Viktor Frankl, the grandfather of mindfulness. He was an applied psychologist and really led people towards hope, fellow prisoners in Nazi concentration camps. And Viktor Frankl tells us that when we cannot change our environment, we are compelled to change ourselves internally. So again, this is another invitation to turn inward towards peace. And while I do believe that each of us can be agents of peace and agents of change, how do we start with that internal peace? So that's what we're going to focus our attention on today. 4 steps where we can drive internal peace. Step 1, start your day with breath and gratitude. How do we do that? Well, simply before your feet even hit the ground, I invite you to start breathing deeply. What does that mean? Just allow the belly to rise and fall naturally. As you inhale, watch the abdomen rise up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, your abdomen, the belly, returns back towards your center. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths like this. We cycle resources, blood, oxygen, and lymph, get that inflammation out of there. But as we cycle the resources, we start to prepare ourselves for the day. As you're taking 5 to 10 breaths, start to add gratitude by simply starting with what is right in front of you: a roof over the head, a warm bed to sleep in, a shower, and food. Very often, just start with what we already have in front of us. So wake with breath and gratitude. Step 2, we're going to practice self-compassion. Well, how do we do that? Why do we do that? We practice self-compassion to reduce self-critical thoughts and those self-limiting thoughts, just to cultivate this positive mindset. And if you've ever been around a negative person, it can be challenging for some of us to start to move towards self-compassion. So just for today, I'm going to ask you just to start to realize when you use words like shouldn't, couldn't, can't. These self-limiting statements where we start shouldn't on ourselves can be really detrimental, and we may not even notice. So when you do notice that you use these words, pause and just take a breath. Silence that itty-bitty shitty committee that's up in the head with loud and critical thoughts. Just take a deep breath, and we're already moving towards a positive change. Step 3, give back. Find an organization you feel passionate about. Maybe join us at Real Human Performance. We're always volunteering someplace. When we give back, it is the fastest way to release endorphins. So one could say that it's almost it's not so altruistic when we give back, because we're really creating these natural feel-good chemicals, but still we are building community and doing things for the greater good of others. Step 4, end your day the way in which you began. End your day by breathing and recognizing 1, 2, maybe 3 aspects, some contributions of life, maybe to a family member, a friend, a colleague, or even to a stranger. We start to recognize our contributions, our personal hand in the greater good of the world around us. Those are the 4 steps. But I do remind you that if all else fails, just fake it till you make it. Peace out.